So I can imagine that being an actor must be very difficult. But for those who do act and it comes really easy to them, when they land the perfect role, it must be an amazing feeling. But every now and then, there are actors who have been miscast. They'll play a part, and it just was not meant for them. It was meant for someone else. So today we're going to go over the top 5 actors who have been maybe good movies, some bad movies, but probably the weakest part of it was the miscast. Number 5 is a movie that I think, even though he's not in the movie a whole lot, he does affect the quality of the film. And that movie is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Gary Oldman does a great job playing Dracula. He does both a young version and an older version of Dracula. It's a very tumultuous film because there are good actors, but there are other actors who play off of him who do a terrible job. But who I really cannot forgive at all is Keanu Reeves playing Jonathan Harker. People are gonna crucify me, but I don't think he's that much of a great actor. He's good in certain films. They give him the role of Jonathan Harker, a British guy, so Keanu Reeves' British accent's awful. I really hated his accent.
I know where the bastard sleeps. I brought him there.
And it's just like this dude guy playing a British accent, and it comes off really terrible. Every scene he's in the movie just lowers the grade of the film. Every time I'm seeing the film, it feels like I'm watching a skit. Like it's just a guy who popped into the movie that does not fit with the rest. Like you have Anthony Hopkins, you have Gary Oldman doing a good job, but here comes Keanu Reeves pretending to be British, and it just feels very cartoony. It feels like he's in a completely different film. I say watch it, but keep in mind that someone else could play the part of Keanu Reeves. So number 4, this is a movie that has about 4 or 5 different cuts, and there's good things in it, but overall it's messy, it's historically inaccurate, and the lead actor is so miscast. The movie's Alexander, starring Colin Farrell, directed by Oliver Stone. It was a passion project for Oliver Stone to make this film. It was extremely expensive, and it came around that time when Gladiator, Troy, King Arthur, all these films were kind of popular. So he used that time to catapult this film. And Colin Farrell was an actor who was, promising actor who was rising, and he casted him in the part. So sure, he may have had the look and everything, but I don't sympathize nor believe the character of Alexander. I don't see him as a ruler. I just don't accept it. Some may say that's a fault of the script, because even Angelina Jolie was terrible in the movie. But Colin Farrell doesn't command the film at all. The different cuts in the film try to fix the performance. They try to shorten certain things and get to the battles more quickly, and it doesn't work. There's the theatrical, extended director's final cut, ultimate cut, regardless of which one you're watching, they all have the problem where Colin Farrell was not the right person to play Alexander. He usually does well when he's playing smaller films where he's playing someone who's Irish, or someone who is kind of like low-key, not someone who is so extravagant.
Clyde is both true.
Number 3 is, this was tough because I do like this movie. I think this is actually a good movie, and it would have been better if they had the original actor. The movie is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. George Lazenby was not an actor before he made this film. He's an Australian model who was very confident, and he heard from his agent telling him, hey, they're looking for someone to play the part of James Bond. He goes to the audition, runs across the secretary into the office of Harry Saltzman, and asks for the part. And since he was someone who was contrarian, like they would ask him to sit down, he would not want to sit down. He would ask for where he had worked before, and he would kind of answer questions half-assed. They said, hey, this is the guy for James Bond. He's not following us. He's so different to everyone else we've auditioned. 29-year-old George Lazenby, who had no previous acting experience, became the guy who replaced Sean Connery. A lot of people defend this movie, and I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't think it's one of the best James Bond movies. A lot of people consider this like up there with From Russia with Love and Goldfinger, those classic Bond movies. I think it would have reached that level of status if Sean Connery played the part. What makes his portrayal so bad that affects the film? He's very wooden. He delivers lines not like an actor. He doesn't have that suaveness that Sean Connery brought to the table, and it felt like they were forcing him to be like Sean Connery instead of making the character his own. Sure, there's certain traits that all the Bond actors carry from one film to the next, but I felt like George Lazenby didn't do it. He just wanted to be contrarian, and this was during the 1960s where everyone was being in the hippie days. Like, he actually came to the premiere of the film with a beard and long hair, and at the time it was seen as kind of a rebellious thing, especially since he's going to meet the Queen. But as James Bond, I never bought him. A lot of people do, and a lot of people defend this film. They say it's classic. Christopher Nolan loves this movie, even so much that in Inception, that whole scene in the snow with that big building, it's actually taken from Her Majesty's Secret Service. And a lot of people will probably put thumbs down because they like George Lazenby in the part, or they like this movie in general. Number 2, when I was a kid, I liked this film. I thought it was not that bad. Of course, I grew up and I realized it's a terrible movie. And that movie is Batman and Robin. George Clooney, awful. He's a terrible, terrible Batman. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he's done a lot of great movies. You know, there's so many to count. And he usually fits those roles really good. Hey, this guy is suave, he's good looking, he has the chin. He could play Batman. No, he just does not fit the part at all. On top of the fact that the movie was really, really stupid and has so many of Joel Schumacher's trademarks of being colorful, over the top, and you have freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger with those puns. Don't worry, I'm not going to say any of them. George Clooney, he's also in a different film, because at least if you look at Chris O'Donnell and Uma Thurman, they're also going along with the stupidity. George Clooney is trying to be serious. He's trying to be the best dark, brooding Batman he can be, and it doesn't fit. It never has. Even back then, I said something's off. I don't know anyone who's actually, as an adult, finished this film from beginning to end. I tried on one sitting, and this is the equivalent to waterboarding. This is waterboarding if it were a movie. It's difficult to watch.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Number 1 might be controversial because I know there's people who defend the character, and that's how it was supposed to be played, and that is Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. As Star Wars fans, we try to defend certain things so they can make sense. Like, we'll fool ourselves into liking certain films. It's the worst fan base. But I have to admit, like, I don't think Hayden Christensen's a bad actor. I don't think he's a great actor either. I think he's okay. I've seen him in other films. If you want to see one of his better performances, watch a movie called Shattered Glass, where he plays a reporter who fabricates a fake story and gets a lot of traction thinking that it's real. Good film, little independent film, watch it if you haven't seen it. But as Anakin, he just played this whiny, annoying character. You know, I feel like the character that we see in The Force Awakens of Kylo Ren, he feels like a better Anakin. He's also impulsive. He's also someone who has to control his powers. I feel that he would have been a better Anakin instead of what we got. And you can say that, hey, you shouldn't argue because, hey, that's what George Lucas wanted. That's why he had all this shit came out of his head. Hayden just like hams it up. Not even hams it, like it's just so like disconnected from whatever everything else is happening in the film. I never liked it. Sure, you can say that because of the way he is, now that he's trapped in this suit, he has to become this stoic, troubled character who has to control his emotions. He has no other choice, so he learned from his past mistakes. Maybe that's just fans making excuses so things can fit. But I've never liked Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. You can let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this top 5. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Let me know if there's a movie you liked or disliked that has a character that was played by someone that should have been casted by someone else. So anyway, guys, I'm Best Guy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button so you can check all the other videos. And until next time, bye.